And good morning out there to all you curling fans, and welcome back to the 2024 Everest Canadian Senior Curling Championships. We are at the Curl Moncton Curling Club in beautiful Moncton, New Brunswick. I'm Dan Holowaychuk, and joining me is Penny Shantz, Olympic gold medalist. And we are now into Championship Saturday. We have our 8 semi-finalist teams out here. And our feature game, we will have New Brunswick and Alberta men's. And we'll get to the standings and the playoff format for you a little later. But if anybody does want to follow along on all the sheets, we are at curling.ca/scoreboard. You can check out the scores. We are also streaming games on sheet 2 and 3, which is the Manitoba and Saskatchewan men's on sheet B, and Quebec, Ontario ladies on sheet C. And you can pick that up on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada. Penny?
Good morning, Dan. I'm here to introduce the teams, and it's going to be an exciting day here. There's only these few teams left. The first team that we're featuring today is Alberta, with James Pahl at skip, Mark Klink at third, Kelly Mothy at second, John Schmidt at lead, and Corey Wilson as alternate. These guys lost the final in 2022, and they've been here. This is their third showing, so they're looking for the win. The other team that's playing is the local team from Curl Moncton. It's the New Brunswick team, skipped by Mike Kennedy. Mark Lecoq is the third, Vance Lecoq is the second, and Grant Odishaw is the lead. The alternate is Scott Jones, but it doesn't really work that way. So I'll explain. Grant skips but throws lead rocks, Mike throws skip rocks, Mark throws third rocks, and Vance throws second rocks. So they have a little change in their lineup that they've been doing, and it's worked so far.
Yeah, so a little home field advantage. However, the ice is probably a little different than they're used to playing on. The rocks are Curling Canada stone, so the stones are a little bit different. So a little bit equal for both teams. They've all had their chance to play in this building. We are now down to just the Shed A, which will be remaining as the actual curling club. And the ice is already coming out on the other side to let the pickleballers have their arena back. So
yeah, I heard you telling a couple of guys up here that you haven't heard any pickleballs yet.
Not yet. So I think the ice is still melting in there. So yeah, should have a good matchup here. All these matchups should be good. We have all of our top teams. Our feature match, Alberta and New Brunswick. Alberta did slip into the rings with their first one, but not fully in. And a good execution by New Brunswick to hit that on the nose, stay out of the rings, and have a nice tight guard.
And Alberta last night in their final championship game, they did beat BC, and were a little bit dependent on Quebec's game. And Quebec was down.
Real good line.
Down 3.
It's out there.
No, Quebec was up 3,
Mark.
and Manitoba made a fantastic triple takeout to lie 4 and win the game.
Yeah, didn't even go extra there.
Yeah, that put Alberta into the running.
Yep, I gave him too much.
Yeah, a lot of a lot of interesting things happening at the very end. So here's a good shot at our playoff format. All the brackets and that. We got in the men's semifinals, as we mentioned, New Brunswick and Alberta, and the other semifinal is Manitoba and Saskatchewan. The 2 winners will go on to the gold medal, and the losers will go play for the bronze. On the ladies' side, Penny?
Quebec is playing Ontario's Joanne Rizzo, who has not lost a game yet.
Right.
And Nova Scotia is playing Alberta. The winners will go on to the gold medal game. That's at 3:30 this afternoon.
Yeah, so the men actually go kind of back-to-back on the draws here. Our draw times today, this one being obviously 8:30. The men will go back on at 12:30 for the gold medal. And the ladies will come back on at 3:30 for their gold medal, and that will be a wrap for us. So
Then he's got the triple.
No.
Okay. No.
Notice this here, New Brunswick has the hammer, and they're currently lying 2, deciding what to do with their seconds first rock.
And
It's early in the end.
And yeah, just trying to get some directions to where they want to split the house around and didn't want to leave a triple. So both these teams obviously having a lot of success. I know in the standings, we had a 3-way tie actually for first. New Brunswick, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan, all with 8-2 records. And New Brunswick getting first place due to the best draw-off. And Alberta actually finished tied with British Columbia at 6-4, but they beat them in the round robin. So a lot of interesting things did happen at the last draw last night. And you know, if somebody else had won, then it went to a tiebreaker, and the other guys were out. And I'm very familiar with that because in our two times that we won this event, one, we were also, just like James, sitting there waiting to see what would happen. We ended up losing to 2 of the teams, but we needed one more team to lose. And then we had the best draw to the button, so because of this, we had a 4-way tie. We ended up getting in, although we lost to 2 of the teams that were in there. And that's pretty much the situation for James last night. They'd won their game, they're off the ice, but they needed this and that to happen, and it did for them. So we'll see if lightning strikes twice here and they can get through the event.
I would say the stars aligned for them pretty good yesterday.
Better wait.
But I do know that we're sitting with them, and you had mentioned that story to them, and James said, well, I guess all we have to do is go out and win our game and see what happens, and that's what they did.
And that's you know what, you control your own destiny.
Yep.
Back to our featured game here. We still have New Brunswick splitting the house with the hammer in the first end. James does have a chance to hit and roll under this corner guard to sit shot. That's how he's going to try to get out of maybe giving up a deuce here. So it was 3 at one time, so down to 2, and Mark Klink looking to get them down to 1 or none. 1 for them. And just a little interesting thing on Mark Klink. I think he put the most time into his bio here.
Right.
I think he has a little comical connotation on everything he's put in here. His name, pronunciation. It's Mark, like bark, Klink, like the drink. So don't want to get his name confused, but yeah.
Soft board. Just to here.
He's got for his occupation here homemaker-ish,
Yeah, a little
and
longer roll is
slave to
better.
his wife Jen, and his dads Matt, Will, and CJ. So yeah, if you want some good reading material, we'll try to get that published for you. So little roll under for Alberta, but still showing half a rock. Mark Lecoq, see better than half.
Nice control.
Yeah.
Hack to board weight.
Guys giving her, they got room.
Curl.
So wants to roll a little bit away, so the roll under is a little bit tougher for James again. Now these rocks are sneaking up a little higher in the rings here, and a couple more nose hits, and they won't be out counting that other one on the other side. So James is going to roll a little bit to the right on this one. Maybe try to get out of it by setting up a double now that they'll be closer together. So we'll see how where Mark ends up with this one. He can roll under. There is a little bit of room there. I think at the very end, if it is going that way, James will take it. Yep, he's looking to roll it under at the very end here, and he gets that little bit of roll again.
Could have got it maybe just a little
Yeah,
more.
they at the last minute, they changed gears, trying to get the roll under. So shot rock for Alberta, half buried, or a good third board buried.
So based on Grant's standings, New Brunswick's standings here, they did have choice of color, and they chose the red rocks off the sheet.
Same.
I look across all 4 games and kind of track who's throwing what to see, because I know who finished first, and there's red on 3 sheets, and there's yellow on 1.
So maybe a little quiet wait here for Mark, and that one really curled up on him. The good news is he did tap another one on the rings there. So.
But it does give an opportunity for Alberta to sit and lie two here.
Yeah, they can see this one fully. We'll see how hard this one goes to the wings early in the game. So a little change just in the one shot there. It'll turn around. Alberta with a chance now to sit two and force New Brunswick here. So.
Kind of anxious. There's a bit of a flu bug going around here, and James has got a sore throat, so I'm kind of interested to hear how he sounds today.
We might have to hear more of Mark and his bark.
Right.
James Pahl with the in-turn takeout.
Yeah, house, just house.
Looking to sit two.
Yep.
Wanting just house weight, just control weight, nice easy hit.
Johnny.
This should come out to the wings pretty good here. Johnny's trying to move this one over.
It's not coming as much as they thought.
He's going to get a good piece. The quieter weight, we'll let him stick around. It's rolling underneath.
So not
we'll
a bad
stick
shot.
for second shot.
Big roll.
Yeah, and you know what? By over-rolling that way, there really isn't a double back. There's the top yellow is pretty much edge on edge.
I don't think it's there. Might be there soft.
Thinking board.
Yeah.
It'll curl here.
Yeah.
Is that enough for board? Yeah.
Okay, you heard
Yeah.
Mike talking about trying to get around this guard tight.
Don't think it's
Try to
there.
get a little bit across the face
But
so
you
he can
can't
make
play-
that double.
You can't play the other rock.
Get those other ones. It's hard, very difficult for him to try to get through the hole and get this one and stay for shot. So looking actually for the double, a little bit of a roll under, or at least kiss that back one so that he could be shot on the top. If he gets them both out, he can sit for two.
Yeah, I don't know if we can.
It's very tight here, but they're thinking this is going to curl up really good for him. Mike Kennedy with his first rock in the first end.
Curl.
This is out here a little bit.
Curl.
It's got nice
On the
control
other
weight.
side
It
of the
should
line.
come up a bit,
Curl
but
hard.
it's
Still running out there. Been trying to make this curl the whole way. He'll get the hit and the roll, but he's not going to be shot rock here. So James will have a chance to come around the center guard, and we'll
Put
see
some
if
pressure on him.
We'll see if Mike and them just decide to maybe give James one and hit that back one. I think if James makes a good one right around here on the forefoot, I think that's what we're going to see. So your draw to the button shot here. First end.
Put on the top of the button.
Sorry, Grant, your shots were good too.
We're one? Yeah, put on top button.
You could tell I was fishing for a compliment.
I always like playing against Mark. He's always in a good mood out there.
very complimentary.
Yep.
He's complimenting Mike Kennedy and Grant Odishaw and making great shots.
Yeah, and Grant did miss that one. He said, well, one of them.
Yeah.
So James Pahl with the come around, looking for the top 4 foot around that center line red guard.
Okay, a lot of room. Scully.
A lot of room right now. It's hanging out there.
Okay, then don't sweep it.
Well, that should stop, but I don't
Yeah,
think he's going to
if he-
get it buried.
No, he might try to finish it, but Mike taking this back, does curl up enough in behind that he didn't leave any
Like here, eh?
Double
double
buried,
chance. And this provides some backing for Mike Kennedy.
Yeah. Mike won this event back in 2013. He won the World's Seniors, playing with
Mr. Talon.
Regular speed
Mr.
here,
Wayne
guys?
Talon
Yeah.
from
Yeah,
Fredericton.
and Wayne Talon organized
Not
the
like
Frederick
lightning like yesterday, right?
Seniors when we were there.
So he wins it, and then he goes and says, nope, I'm going to make sure somebody else has a chance, and
Right.
I'm going to help organize it, and he did a good job.
Well, they organize a lot, as a matter of fact. They're hosting the World Championships.
Yeah, I'm going to get into all the events that are upcoming here after this end here. So last rock in the first end. Alberta sitting 2. Mike Kennedy looking to go out of the 4 foot with some backing.
Back in.
Backing's there. Curl! Curl!
Well, he's all there with the backing.
Nice. Curl!
Mike gets him to curl it early.
Hard! Hard, Vance!
Weight's coming down, and it's coming in there pretty
Hard.
good.
Everything you got. Everything you got.
That
Everything
did
you got.
stay out there.
Yeah, that little bit of
too
extra
much
weight, and look at Marcus on that, and wow. Did not see that one coming, so we have Mike Kennedy slipping a little bit deep on that one, rubbing off the shot stone, but leaving 2 Alberta stones, so a big steal of 2 for Alberta in the first end. They are up now 2-0, and we'll be back with second end action.
Curling means so much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoyed your way.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup is a semi-final game, Alberta versus New Brunswick, and we did have Alberta steal a deuce in the first end, and that was a very late deuce.
It was. We watched James with his last rock. His rock did not come up. He was coming around to guard, and so he went back 4, and then New Brunswick had an opportunity just to draw for 1. And his rock stayed out there. He had a little more weight, and it did not come up. We have not seen it. It's been curling in that spot, so both skips may be a little bit fooled on that. But it is early. It's 2-0 for Alberta.
Yeah,
it's early.
If you're going to want to give up that steal of a deuce, first end is one that you would prefer to have it happen in.
And he was trying to carve it all the way, and it did not move.
No. So start of this second end, and New Brunswick once again having the hammer. Alberta with 1 in the top back 4 and top 8. And a corner guard here.
I like board, Mike. Board. Firm board.
So New Brunswick
Little more.
not going with the double corner guards, and they're cutting their weight down to try to stick around here, looking for a board weight. So the old Eddie Wernick board weight double, or at least move these 2 rocks into the back of the rings. Maybe they can utilize them later.
Yep. Go, Vance.
Grant indicated that he really wanted to throw board, and I guess you're going to listen to Grant Odishaw. He's won championships for New Brunswick 27 times.
So he's had a couple of these jackets.
Yeah,
he's
got a few jackets, I would think, right?
This is 8.
I'm just going to give you a couple quick updates across the board here on our ladies game on sheet 1. We do have Alberta leading that one 1-0 over Nova Scotia. On sheet B, we have Saskatchewan Min over Manitoba Min by a score of 1-0. On sheet C, we have Ontario with the deuce in the first end, leading Quebec 2-0. The games on sheet 2 and 3 are being live streamed. You can catch those on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada. And we do have a lot of events coming up, and if anybody is looking for tickets for them, you can go to curling.ca/tickets. And the first one that we have is the Canadian Mixed Doubles Olympic Trials, December 30th to January 4th in Liverpool, Nova Scotia. And then the Scotties Tournament of Hearts, February 14th to 23 in Thunder Bay. The Montana Brier
that's pretty good.
February 28th to March 9 in Kelowna. That is presented by AGI. The BKT Tire World Men's Championship, March 29th to April 6th, and that's going to be in Moose Jaw, Saskatchewan. And the winners here will be going to the World Seniors.
Yep.
And that will also have the World Mixed, and that's taking place in Fredericton, April 26th to May the 3rd. And after come back from summer, the big Canadian curling trials will be held November 22nd to the 22nd to the 30th in Halifax. So lots of action and lots out here in the Maritimes. They've been great hosts.
They have been. There is a few other events out there, but they're not sanctioned by Curl Canada. There's stick championships and the Masters, which we both played in and won together.
Yeah.
And that would be Al Harnden hosting that in Sault Ste. Marie at the beginning of April.
Hey, sweet. That's better.
So Alberta is sitting 3 here and 1 corner guard for New Brunswick.
Bumper.
They did roll those ones to make it a difficult double takeout. They'd probably have to roll out to make the double. So I think they're just trying to maybe stay with a little nose hit and roll with the one that they hit, so they can stay on top and make it tough for Alberta and
Down a bit.
James Pahl to remove.
Whoa, man.
Yep. Whoa.
So Vance Lecoq here looking for the nose hit or roll with that top one.
Yep.
Curls up a little bit on him at the end, but he does stay pretty much on the nose of it.
And
James has got to be a little bit careful with this one.
So he doesn't put it underneath the corner guard?
Right, if you hit it too thick, it's just going to roll under that corner. So I think he may even lose all of them here as a preference to hitting it too thick and sticking around, but putting that red under the guard.
All the way, John. You got it. We got it.
Oh, we got Johnny Smith and Kelly Mothy on the sweep there, holding it out. Removes everything, so we got a yellow one out on the outside, but
gives Grant the opportunity now to come around that corner guard.
They can get shot buried here, so that was all set up by the first rock with the hit and stay right on top there, and forcing Alberta to peel all 3 of them out.
Down a bit. Room.
So now we have Mark Lecoq with his first rock in the second end.
Curl Vance.
Looking for the come around.
Curl Vance.
Got Vance leaning on this one.
Mike, help.
By the guard with plenty of room. These will come out to the wings nicely.
Keep going, Vance. Keep going.
Didn't quite come up for him.
Yeah, he might have got got some of it buried, maybe just a bit, but James can see most of this.
Yeah, me too. Okay.
Looking for board weight. And he's going to try to roll this one back into the middle to make that roll under that red next time a little bit tougher. Mark Klink with his second rock in the second end. Looking to hit and stay.
Klink like drink. I like that.
Oh, John, clean now. Just clean. Up, John.
Let's move a little bit.
Good.
Yeah, it moved on him pretty good there, so nose hit, but New Brunswick will have a chance to roll under here, and a very short roll.
You had mentioned Moncton has put on a great event here, and I'm just looking over, and Lorne Mitten, the chair of the event, is sitting up here watching the game from above, taking it in.
Yeah, everything is run fairly smooth from what I've seen.
He's got 133 volunteers doing everything here, from doing the ice to timing to downstairs running 50-50s.
Drivers, and these volunteers, you know, it's a big thing to do one event, but to do 2 back-to-back. Right. They did have the U21 mixed doubles here the week prior. And so these guys have been on the go for 2 weeks.
Right. I'll be looking for a holiday.
I think today is the end of the show, and the banquet. I think you're going to see a lot of people maybe having a pretty good time tonight.
Right.
Celebrating 2 weeks of hard work.
Hard work, and no pay.
Yeah.
But they do it because we love the sport.
And they do have some beautiful Everest volunteer clothing.
They do.
So James Pahl looking to hit and stay here.
A little more.
If he can sneak this a little bit under the corner, but he's playing some pretty safe weight, so he's looking like he's just going to try to roll this one back to the middle.
Come on, Kelly.
Carving it pretty good there.
Yeah.
It's got a little more weight. I think that was the
Removes
difference
it,
there.
so maybe a little decision here for New Brunswick. How hard do they go for the deuce? They've tried to come around that corner, so they know the line and the weight. It is a good opportunity. And you know what? And there's no guarantee hitting that yellow is going to get you the blank or get you out of this end. Sometimes some things happen that you don't expect. So staying with the aggression here and going around that corner guard and see if they can get their deuce and tie this game back up.
Probably tightened up the ice from the first couple, or that last rock that came
Yeah,
down, because
well,
they were carving it pretty good.
We'll see. They did have choice of the rocks here, so they did play on this sheet.
Yeah, they had the advantage of playing on this sheet last night, even though they scrape it and redo it and everything, but you're playing on the championship sheet, and if they win this game, they would play on it again.
In the final, yes. So Mike Kennedy has come around attempt. Like he was right up the stick with that one, so this one's coming a little bit closer earlier over the line, so we'll see how this one finishes up.
Behind the tee, behind the tee.
Still got some room, but he is indicating it's a little bit deep. If he does bury it, I think
moving to do.
he's going to see James follow this down, I think.
And the movement is mostly at the end.
So weight's pretty close.
Not bad.
A little bit heavy.
Buried it.
Mostly buried. So James basically forced to come down with a freeze on it.
Did you get a time on that, Dan?
I did. I had
15-2.
I had a 15-2 on that, and a
That's hog to hog.
little bit of sweep, so
I got 15-3 on that.
I'm not right on the hog line,
We had
so
52 on some
I'm
of
within
yours.
about a minute or two of being right. So.
I think you're pretty close. They're saying 15-2. They got 15-3.
So James just looking to come in on top of this one, and wants to be shot rock. Frozen on that red, so it can't be removed. He's got to watch out for the guard, and he doesn't want to take off, so not a lot of room for error for James.
The lighting.
I didn't get his time, but the sweepers indicated that
That does not look light.
he's a little bit light. Yeah, I see this thing coming down, so there we go. Now they're calling T-line, and James is yelling, whoa. It's hanging out there, and Mark is hanging in until the bitter end. It does have a lot of
Let
light
it come
finish,
down.
but it might get that little chap off, so just that little bit heavy now gives the opportunity for Mike Kennedy, New Brunswick, to just have a nose hit and get their deuce. So
Firm hack, you can go on the line.
a foot lighter would probably be a little better than a foot heavy, even if he wasn't sitting two. It would.
So he has a chance to get his 2 back, tie the game up.
Like firm hack here, guys?
I think you just need, you don't need firm hack, like just hack. Yeah, we can hold it.
So Mark is saying, yeah, we'll hold this one. So don't overthrow it. Give us a chance. Put it in our hands a little. We'll see. This one's going to start on that center line, so it'll be starting to curl right away. I don't want to underthrow this. Mike Kennedy with his last stone in the second end, looking for a nose hit for his 2.
Yep. Whoa. Whoa.
Yelling board, it's running for a little bit.
Curl.
It comes off the line. Vance is trying to steer this over.
Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Yeah, it didn't quite come up enough, but guess what? It was enough to stay for 2 and remove the yellow. So New Brunswick replies with a deuce back of their own in the second end. Now we'll have our match all tied up again, 2-2. So we'll be back with some third end action.
just one more throw, please.
You make moments like these possible.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships here in Moncton, New Brunswick. Dan Holowichik alongside of Penny Shantz, bringing you our semifinal action. All these games are semifinals out here, and we have men's and women's in our feature. Brunswick and Alberta. You saw Alberta steal a deuce in the first end. New Brunswick replies with a score of 2 of their own in the second. So Alberta now with the hammer in the third.
A couple of guards out front. This is that spot that Mike Kennedy threw down in the first end.
Yeah.
It didn't come up.
Wanting this one to come down.
Yeah, that's a pretty fast spot down there.
And it will, usually if it's faster, it runs straighter.
Yeah, that's true.
But it does finish off, buried in behind, but behind the tee line.
So Alberta will just follow down the same path. Maybe try to be top 4.
Yeah, it doesn't need to come all the way back down to this one. It is behind the tee line. If he can get around this one tight and into the top 4, there is a very small port to come through that. And I think everybody's finding this a little bit outside wide here is not coming up much and a little quicker. Because everybody's a little deep on these, and it's going to come down and tap that New Brunswick. Redstone back. Stay for shot rock.
So full draw, right?
So Grant basically ignoring that yellow shot stone. They want to try to get in there first around that red stone. Vance Lecoq with his outturn draw, looking for the top 4.
Lots of room.
Lots of room. The sweepers like to wait.
Hey, carve it. It's coming now. Carve it. Whoa, whoa, whoa. It's coming nice. Just wait. Just for wait. Gotta go.
A good line on this and good weight.
I got a nice
great
15
shot.
flat, and he's got it right in there. Right in the top 4, right where Grant tapped. His shot stone buried.
He could hit the guard off now if he wanted.
Yeah, James first called for a freeze. He's going to try to come through that hole. Back weight.
There you go.
So wanting to remove the red one, if you're going to rub guard, better to rub the red one and open that red stone up. So
that's his tolerance.
Probably playing this one a little tighter to the red rock. Might see Johnny have to hold this one out. Kelly did get this out a little bit. He's got to carve up quite a bit to get by that yellow one. Here it comes.
And it's moving now.
Get all the way over, Mark.
Mark steering that one over, yeah. And he might jam the back.
Get over there. Yeah.
But he does. James is on it, but I don't think it's far enough. So red still remains shot in the very back, but
it's at the back. That's a friend back there.
The yellow is on top.
I don't know.
So now we'll see if New Brunswick tries to go through that hole.
Same hole.
We did see that.
Normal, yeah, firm
nice.
and normal. Try board. Board, you're gonna roll it. You're gonna go to the middle. You gotta keep it up.
Jeez, they threw a control weight down there. They were trying to throw a board.
Control.
It was a little for him, so we're going to see who, if everybody can still make it through this hole. If he does make it through, it looks like close to nose hit. Playing a little bit more weight to try to scrape that yellow guard tight and maybe get a roll under that yellow guard if he can just miss it with a little more up weight. It's really close here. It is through the hole, and actually it's curling up a little bit more on them. Is he going to run the back one? He does. Gets rid of a couple of his.
Now yellow shot rocket at the back of the house.
That thing ever curl?
Yeah.
So they're navigating that hole well, but not hitting it on the side of the rock that each team would like.
That's right.
And we're leaving a lot of things around the back. But we do have New Brunswick with shot up top. So James is going to come around a different way here.
Actually, Alberta is shot rock at the back of the house.
Well, you're right. Alberta is shot.
So they're coming in for second shot here.
Looking to sit two.
Yeah, Scott.
Way light. We got a guard. Something grabbed her.
Oh,
No, really? I'll line something up, I guess. Keep it going, John.
is he light or did that pick?
They indicated they might have grabbed something, so they're trying to give themselves a
Shot
lead.
here.
Don't want to overlap those two in case he needs to use them. Chaps off, does roll to guard that red, so I think we're going to see New Brunswick. Nope.
Now they have the opportunity to come around there
They're
again.
just going to come around. They're not going to eliminate that back yellow to sit three.
No. Okay.
So once again, just trying to draw around everything here to get shot in the top four. We'll have to see if James and Alberta tries to clear up the front or chase this one down. So Mark Lecoq with his first rock in the third end.
I like it.
Weight's nice.
Sweepers are liking it early.
So,
We'll see if this one hangs out here, because we've had about every rock out here hang out more than everybody wanted to, other than one. So
hard! Hard!
it almost seems like the wider out you get, the bigger whip you get back in, because
A
this
little
one
bit
came
short.
all the way
He's
over.
got
Do they
it.
get it barred a bit of rear? They do,
Just shot rock.
but they don't quite get shot stone out of that.
Oh no, they didn't.
So Alberta's still sitting shot rock in the back, so James is going to give this one another go.
So they do not use a number system, I noticed, for saying where the rock's going to
Yeah,
end
that's
up.
what I
It
was
was
thinking. Yeah.
rock's nice.
Okay.
And you need to be more, maybe a little bit more precise on that.
Yeah, and I think, you know what, they did get that out a little wider and got more curl. And I think they got fooled with the weight a little bit. So Mark Klink trying to come around his own yellow guard here
Close to tee.
This is where
and
they came
see
on
if
the other
Alberta
one.
can sit two here.
Tried to come around that other time and
Yeah.
it picked. So
Careful.
So they didn't get a really good on the line on that first one. This one's out here a little bit, but it's, once again, well
Starting
wide.
to
It's
move.
coming in really good.
oh yeah.
This is looking like a really nice shot here.
Go, go, go,
Get in there
go,
far
go,
enough. They're really trying to
go,
bear
go,
this
go,
one
go.
right to the top
Great
four.
shot. To line
Buried.
two.
Mike.
Yeah, sitting to Alberta now. And
Run it or top.
tap this in or run it.
Yeah, I like either or.
What's that?
Run it or top. Either or.
so they're either trying to come around and tap up the red here,
kinda like
or trying to run
running
this
it.
yellow back
What do you
onto
like?
this out that way. Maybe even get all three. Well, if a guy could ever make that run back double, those red ones would be all in good shape.
Back four weight.
We'd be sitting three.
One side of the sheet open for James to come around. So they're going to come and try to top that one that they just put there.
A little more weight here. We'll see if it runs.
Oh, yeah, Mark, put that one there. Let's see if we can tap it a little bit.
Back line.
Also,
Yep.
fair
Hey,
bit
they're
more
on
weight,
it right
but
now.
but a quite a bit tighter line than his first
Yep.
one.
Whoa.
Holding it out there.
Starting to
With that
come
little
down.
weight, it might take a little while to come up. So you got Vance trying to bring this one in and tap it up. He's got good tap weight.
Yep.
Just if he can hit it
Hard, Mike. Hard.
solid on the nose.
I don't know if he has quite enough weight there.
Tapped it, but he did roll outward, so he can use that one again.
He left that rock in a good position.
Yeah, not enough for James to make the double to come off of that one, but enough for Manitoba or Brunswick to use.
James thinking, should I leave that rock there? He is sitting one though. Can't really hit and get the inside of it.
Yeah, I
It's
think
not going to happen.
I think he's trying to take this one out of there.
Quiet, I think.
Or is he going to draw corner freeze on it?
Like hack weight.
Take away there.
I think he's just trying to make sure that he rolls under here.
Okay.
But he will also leave this yellow out there maybe to tap that red up. So we might see New Brunswick with a double tap. So a little hit and roll under here from Mark Klink.
takes away New Brunswick's shot at this rock.
Gotta go.
Be a little light.
Yeah, and this is going to end up coming up for him.
Oh, it's good.
He does want the inside roll, so it looks like he's going to have that.
Pretty good shot.
Roll in there.
Sweeping.
This rolls a little, but he leaves it for whoever wants to use it. So
Those
Will,
guys really held that rock up there with their sweeping. It's good.
I think we just hit it.
Straight back. Get these
I
two.
think if we can get the inside
now.
roll.
I think it's more important that we get ours on the nose.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yellow is still sitting
Not
one.
bad.
Is that going to knock this right into here, though?
Well, we've got to get beyond nose, right?
You could just
Not
guard.
at all.
I think that's. Yeah.
so
Mark, do you like this or guard?
Good discussion here.
Okay.
yeah, that's a dangerous rock for both teams.
Yeah,
Like
like
they can
40.
both use it. So New Brunswick trying to decide whether they want to remove it, guard it,
Yeah.
replace it with their own to have to raise in.
Yeah, but if he throws too much, it's going to run. You got
is.
to be board or less.
It is edge on edge, and they don't want to run this into their own and take their own out here.
40, yeah.
It doesn't move there at all.
So very little ice, and they're expecting this to run straight. We
Well,
did just see Alberta get theirs to run straight with a little bit of sweep. So first rock for Mike Kennedy here in the third end.
Pretty
Control!
sensitive spot right here.
Yep.
His weight's up a little bit. Sweepers have indicated it's up
Yep.
for a control weight.
Girl.
It is just running down that 4-foot line.
Girl.
Trying to get a little bit of movement on this to try to maybe move it over a bit more. Scrapes by, gets the double,
on the back.
rolls off. He does sit for third shot, so you got Alberta sitting one, and New Brunswick with second and third shots. So he did make the double good enough to make his top two second and third.
James
Alberta.
is looking at this other side of the sheet again if he can get one behind there.
Yeah, you can't. That red rock that they just played stayed in a good spot. It eliminated any come around on that side. James forced to come around this way and group his two yellows together if he gets this into the 4-foot. So needs to come around his own yellow
Up forward.
and try to bury a little bit of it.
Okay, yeah.
And if
It
it
really
does,
did.
I
It
think
really
we- I
came
think we
curled
might see,
nicely here.
Okay.
we might see New Brunswick try to run those yellows, which is not their own rocks, back into the pile.
Make sure we got to be fighting for.
Is light okay here, or?
It's not bad.
Yeah, okay.
As long as it's open and light, it might be okay, right?
Well, if it's open and light, I think New Brunswick's going to try to hit it and make the double on that yellow. So definitely has to try to bury a fair bit around either one of those yellows.
A little light.
They got light early.
Little tight. Yep.
It is out in the good stuff, and if it stays straight, it will glide better for them.
They're saying light and tight. That's not a good combination.
Hard, hard, hard.
Yeah, and defensive James there didn't want to put one behind the tee line and give New Brunswick a chance to freeze
Draw to
down,
it,
but this came up quite a bit lighter than he wanted to. And I think we're going to see New Brunswick try to come around those and
So you like
execute
here?
the shot that James just tried.
Like
The one
that?
thing they took away their straight back
Yeah.
double.
Try and
on
get,
those
try
two
and get
yellow
shot,
ones
though.
if they were thinking about playing.
Yeah, it overlapped it, so
That took it away.
if they were thinking,
it away.
they were thinking of running that yellow back in there, that's not there for them anymore. So a little change of gears going to the draw around.
Yeah.
So while Mike's
Seen a
getting set
few
in the hack
rocks
there,
Come in.
I'll just give you another quick update across the board. Alberta stole one in the second end, so it's now 2-0
So like my draw
Alberta
to the edge
ladies
of the
over
eight.
Nova Scotia. On sheet B, Manitoba got one in the second end, so oh, and sorry, they just put up the third end. They're ahead of us, and Saskatchewan scoring one in the third, so it's now 2-1 Saskatchewan over Manitoba men. And
Light.
Ontario and Quebec are all tied up at 2. Mike Kennedy with his last rock in the third end. Looking to draw around those yellow guards and get shot rock.
They're really sweeping this.
It's hanging out there, so it's going to start walking in, but does he have the weight? And if he comes up a little bit light, he does. That guard is out there wide. It makes it tough for James to get into that 4-foot.
Just a little bit light.
So,
is there room? No, there's no room there.
Not bad half shot, if you want to call it, because how does James get in there now?
Well, you got to pay for that guard, eh?
Yeah, he's looking at the top on that guard that he overlapped. And once again, sometimes that's why you don't like those overlap guards.
Well, what was the indication? They said something about there could be 3. They did something, so they're
eyeing
eyeing
up
something.
a skinny double off of the one that they just threw to try to get to.
Right, boy. Sure don't like taking on much risk here.
Well, that's needing the triple for their 3. I don't know that James is going to try that one.
What?
Could hit it really skinny and take his own out.
I don't think enough is there that way. Maybe the 1 stone. But now you're getting cute, right?
Yeah.
Now you're getting cute.
You don't think we have enough? You can play it quiet.
Well, I guess you can't hit it too thin because the guard's there. You hit the guard, it doesn't matter. Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah, so we can't see on our view there, but with those yellow rocks, he's thinking that he can hit it too thin to get his own. There we go. So if he just gets through this hole here, he can't hit it skinny enough to get his own. It can only go into these. So they're going to give it a go here.
And James likes these shots.
And he can throw the heat.
I don't think it's there.
Don't throw it.
They don't. Well, they don't think that raise is there to get it into that 4-foot. It's really close. Came across the. If you came across the face of this one here, tap that one, you would have it spinning inward. It could maybe go to that area, but it's
tough.
And James doesn't like this shot either. So
this.
What do you guys see?
Anything
I know
but
that you've played James a few times in provincial finals the last, 2 or 3 years?
Yeah, finals and a semi, yes.
You can push that to here.
And he's been able to make some pretty incredible shots. So if he can see something there, then you know that it can be made. He's really good at the angles and obviously really good at the execution. So now he's going to go back down here. Looking at those 2 yellows, will come off his own yellow. That was my thought. I thought he might try that one. We'll see. I don't see much else for him.
A little less.
Okay.
These guys curl out of the Sherwood Park Curling Club.
Yep.
Sherwood Park, Alberta, just outside Edmonton. Is it managed by Heather Netowin?
She is.
Right?
She does a great job there.
Done an amazing job there.
So
that's a busy club.
So we're hitting it with.
And they've got pickleball in the summertime, but they use all their ice in the winter.
8 sheets?
8 sheets full. And you know what? I don't think they have boards in that club. I think that is another one of those clubs.
No boards.
Some of them have them halfway, some have all the way. So James with his last rock here, looking to come across the face of these guards. This is curling pretty hard early. He needs to hit as much of that yellow as he can see.
Just curled a little bit.
Yeah, he got the double tickle, and he just missed that top red. If he touches that red, it comes straight back.
It would have.
So a lot of tickling going on over there, but not in the right manner. And Alberta does get their one with the hammer, so they take a 3-2 lead, and we'll be back in the 4th end here right away.
I love that curling is a team sport, that we're able to travel the world with friends and family and experience the journey with fans as well. The sport demands so much, whether it's fine motor skills or both physically and mentally taxing. And it's just a fun social sport that you're able to kind of make an extended family all over the world.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion, and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We are at the Curl Moncton Curling Club in Moncton, New Brunswick. Our feature matchup is a semi-final playoff game between Alberta and New Brunswick Min. We did have Alberta scoring a single point in the third end, taking a 3-2 lead into the fourth end. Just a quick note across the board here. Some more scores for you in the. These are all semifinals. The ladies semifinal on sheet A, we have Nova Scotia and Alberta. Nova Scotia getting one in the third end. Alberta leading that game 2-1 with the hammer. On sheet B, we have a men's matchup with Manitoba Min and Saskatchewan Min. And Saskatchewan getting one in the third. So we have Saskatchewan up 2-1 in that game. And we have a ladies matchup on sheet C. Ontario getting a deuce in the third end. Now leading that game 4-2 with Quebec having the hammer.
Try the roll. Okay. I don't mind that either.
We got a corner guard up in our game, and James Pahl has opted to put his rock, stack him in the middle there.
Yeah.
Solid
board. So this is quite similar
Yep.
to the second end.
Yep.
We saw Grant come down here with board weight and try and get that
Hard.
Ed Wernick double.
Double
Maybe a
and,
roll behind
and
the
roll,
guard.
rolling to the red, but this one's coming up to the nose or across the nose. Just trying to get the double the other way now.
Okay.
Rolls by it, but stays on the rings. So I think Alberta will deal with that one. It is on top of the rings, and they don't have hammer. So James will hit this.
It's a little straighter. Okay.
Might need to roll a little bit to get on the rings. He doesn't want to leave it out to the other side for a corner guard.
House weight hit. House weight hit. Okay. Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I heard today that Moncton, I think they have about 175,000 people that live here. They have a pretty good junior A hockey team, and they're playing this afternoon. They're in first place.
Yeah. Good sports town.
Yeah. And you know they're playing. The winners of the junior A go to the Memorial Cup. I just heard that Kelowna, who's hosting the Brier this year, is hosting a Memorial Cup next year. 2025, so they're doing a lot
lots
of
of
stuff
things
there.
happening in your backyard. You can go check out hockey. You can check out some curling that's coming up there. Yeah. So we just seen Alberta hit and roll outward, and it's not on the rings, and it will act as a corner guard. So giving Grant and New Brunswick a chance to roll either way on this one.
Gotta go, Mark. Yep. Whoa! Yeah, it's down weight. It's down. Down. Yep.
Looking for the long roll underneath the yellow one.
Yep.
And well executed.
Beauty.
Nice shot there by Vance Lecoq. Rolls underneath. You can see James run this guy back.
Run back.
Kelly Mothy.
Should be normal.
So he runs this back on the nose, and he'll be nicely guarded on it. Mark Klink trying to hold this one out there.
Get it out. Keep it coming out.
He's doing a good job of it.
Right to it.
It's going to be close.
Boy.
Gets it back. Gets it on the outside, rolls out, but does still leave a corner guard up there. So eliminates the rock, but two corner guards here for New Brunswick to work with. They elect to come around their own red rock. A little bit longer. Oh,
a little wobble there.
Vance got a speed wobble, but he got the landing gear down.
Be there in its own, guys.
I don't think it's
close.
heavy. Got a long way to curl.
Curl it.
Grant wanting this one to move, so you can see
Curve it.
the sweepers
Starting
both
to come now.
going over to the one side, really trying to work that one corner to get the finish,
good.
and it finished up really good.
Good shot, Vance.
Mike's going to take all the credit on that one. He was the last one sweeping, and it's buried plus.
Okay.
You got any with the intern?
Pretty dangerous.
The teams out here are required to use competition heads, so those heads aren't like a normal club curler would use. They don't get quite as much curl.
Some of the clubs are trying to make it. I know that Heather in Sherwood Park, they're really trying to make it so that everybody's using the same material out there, the compliant material. And a lot of the clubs will make it maybe mandatory for you to use that come playoff time, because when you do get to like a city championship or something, you know, they want you to use the
competition head,
competition stuff. So yeah.
So they do have a serial number on them, and each curling supplier has their own, but they're all, the materials all the same.
Yeah.
They stamp their serial number on it.
Okay.
So James didn't have, he was elected to try to come around and freeze that red, not the end that I think he would like going around the corners. They did slip deep on that one, and red is red is shot. So Grant's trying to split the house, come around the other guard now. Get this done. Those two rocks are going to be well apart and no chance for a double.
Gotta go wait. Gotta go wait. Okay.
So this is Mark's first rock. I think I need it for weight.
Curl. Okay, you gotta go deep. Curl.
Mike is really giving Grant lots of indication on where he thinks the rocks.
Yeah, definitely want to
wait.
Get some. Tried to get that in behind. It didn't quite come up enough for them. Maybe a little bit light and didn't get all the finish at the end.
Might get a double here now.
You gotta roll this way to get shot.
Yeah, it stopped up there high, so.
Or hit and roll and take away their deuce.
Bad, I guess.
Goes with a little bit of roll. Trying to make sure that he can get maybe a little bit underneath so that they can't get under. But it would be third rock. So they're just throwing house weight at this. With those rocks being that wide apart, you know, you're wanting to make the double, you'd probably be throwing something a little firmer. So trying to stay first. Kelly Mothy trying to hold this one. I think James is just going to try to let this one get close.
Okay, I'm gonna comment here because when I lived in Alberta, and that was quite a while ago, we would talk about house hit, and it was a nice controlled house hit. But they don't use that in other provinces. And I just heard James Pahl say, throw a house hit. So for those viewers out there that are going, what are they talking about? That's just a nice control hit, and it's a very common term in Alberta, I think, more
house
than
hit,
anything.
10 seconds.
Yeah.
You know, each team will have their own signals or number communication system, some more definite than the others.
Yep. Forward. Whoa.
So New Brunswick getting rid of third shot rock here. They won't be sitting two after this, but you know, putting this rock in a position that you know, I think James is going to have to make a play on it, even though he has second shot right now. And
try and get that hit and roll this time.
yeah, the angle is a little bit better for the double. It will have more action coming off of this. So he's
House weight again.
Throwing a house weight double.
Big roll here. House weight.
So a couple of options on this. Hit and roll over and stay on top of that red one on the side. If it hits a little bit skinnier, you can make the double on it. I thought he might be throwing a little more weight at this, but he did just see Marks come down here with the house weight. So first rock for James Pahl. And here comes over the line. Really trying to hold this one, looking for the roll.
He's got the roll.
He's got some roll. How much roll does he have? He's got a lot of roll. And that dreaded thicker or thinner, one or the other, and he kisses that red, rolls out.
I think this is
a bit unfortunate for James there.
Yeah, because now he has the opportunity to go around that.
Yeah, any skinnier, he gets a double, again. Thicker, and he hits and stays on top. So New Brunswick with the hammer, trailing by 1 here. Looking pretty good for their deuce here if Mike can make this one around.
Yeah. No.
So in turn draw for Mike Kennedy. Needs to get close to a bite of the 8 foot to sit to.
Line.
This one's coming up on him. They're going hard just to get this one by. As it comes over that line, it's really going to start cutting. His weight looks good. Be a little heavy if they got to keep sweeping all the way. They're trying to get it tight by the guard, but I didn't hear anybody say what the weight was. Ticks the guard. Rolls to the back. Mark elects to leave that so that they have more rings to work with when they play this hit. I think if they had got that one by, not sure if it would have been deep. If it would have actually stayed for a second shot, it would have been close because it didn't roll too deep here. So. I think James is going to try to hit and roll underneath here and force New Brunswick to maybe draw for the one. That guard is pretty tight to the house, but I think they'll be maybe trying to give it a try for their deuce and tap it out if James does make this roll under. So last rock for Alberta and James Pahl in the 4th end.
Board.
That's going to start to go now.
Yeah.
Boy, you got to go hard.
Come off this line with the board weight. It's really moving on him.
Come on, get it by.
He squeaks it by. He's going to get a big roll. And it rolls a little bit too far. So New Brunswick sitting one, I think will have the whole 8 foot to draw to for their deuce.
Yeah, unfortunate. James had 2 shots there that he only got half a shot out of. Got the rock, but didn't get the rolls.
Yeah, and just got that one by the guard. If he touches that guard, it would have been a redraw for 3 here for New Brunswick. So Mike Kennedy pretty much an open draw here. So Mark and Vance.
I don't think it.
Ready on the sweep.
We'll have to put this one into the 8 foot at least. Looking for the button to give their skipper some confidence in case he needs to find the button later. And this is coming over there, not too close actually. Mark drops back in there.
That's pretty good.
And this is looking really good. And you know what? As a skipper, you like to see that. You
Puts it on the Everest.
Right on the Everest logo for his deuce. So New Brunswick with 2 in the 4th end. They take a lead, 4-3. We'll be back with 5th end action and Alberta having the hammer.
So much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
The live sports experience is changing. Teams and facilities are under pressure to provide online and in-venue entertainment. IKS Live has the right team to deliver. We provide service across North America and produce the best fan experience, in the seats or streaming to you. IKS Live continues to bring you the best seat in the house.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the Hardline Curling Show. This week on the show, more Grand Slam glory for the world's top-ranked men's and women's teams. Canada's best senior curlers meet in the Maritimes, and we take a closer look at the program that's helping the next wave of Canadian talent carve a path to the podium. The broom is down, so let's get started.
In some cases, they invented some of the tricks that are being used out there now, you know, some of the sweeping techniques and some of the deliveries where they're able to get curl out of a rock that maybe other players can't. You know, these players know all these tricks, and it's a pleasure to watch them out there. And they're competitive. I mean, there's a real intensity out there when the games are tight, and you see that play out in the late ends. And that's what's been a lot of fun talking to them. But at the end of the day, they come off the ice and they're sitting together at the table with their opponents and having a beer like it used to be.
So it's called the National Next Gen Program. Let's start with the obvious question. What is it and why was it introduced?
So our National Next Gen Program consists of teams that are under 21, under 25, and under 27. So we've got 11 teams in our program, and they joined our program in different ways. So the two under 21 teams, men's and women's, they won our Canadian championships last year. And the under 25 teams, they won our Next Gen Classic, which is under 25 men, women, and mixed doubles. And then we've got under 27 teams, men's, women's, and mixed doubles. And they were based on CTRS and CMDR through an application process.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships. We are at the Curl Moncton Curling Club in Moncton, New Brunswick. And our morning draw today, we have all the semi-final action. We are on playoff Saturday. We will have a draw at 12:30 for the men's gold and bronze medal games. And that will be followed by a draw at 3:30 for the ladies' bronze and gold medal games. These are all Atlantic times. We do have a couple other games that we are streaming on Sheet B, the men's game between Manitoba and Saskatchewan, and Sheet C, the ladies' game between Quebec and Ontario. So if you want to flip around on the action, you can follow along on TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada. So we got a good one going here, Penny. A little back and forth on the lead.
We're tight, and we're starting the same way again. We've got New Brunswick putting a rock. Oh, we've got two guards, I guess. We've got a center guard and a corner guard.
Yeah, Alberta with hammer here. They can get their deuce and get the lead back. Grant Odishaw
Really good line.
throwing lead.
Should be good.
Really good line. Where's the weight?
Calling the game for New Brunswick.
Still really good line.
Going to come around as center guard.
Mark, Vance.
Grant has the most experience out of anybody on this team. He's been to 27 championships. He was at the curled with Russ Howard for 10 years.
Boy, that's a tricky place.
So
Vance or
Grant Odishaw?
Odishaw.
Yeah.
Getting straighter as the game goes on.
And as a matter of fact, Grant and Russ Howard, they do a Academy of Curling clinic. They go across Canada and give clinics, and they also go down to the States along with Marianne Arsenal, and they put on a great clinic.
Just hack.
So if your club's needs a clinic, get hold of Grant.
Have room, will travel.
And I'll tell you, Russ is so entertaining to listen to. I've been to a few of them.
And I think Mark has also been with those guys for a long time too.
Good shot. That is some kind of straight there.
Speaking of a long time together, isn't the lead on the Alberta team, John Schmidt? He's known James for 35 plus years, and they race cars together.
Race cars. They work in the automotive industry. I know James works for WSI, and he's been there like 29 years. He should be just about a part owner of that place by now.
That's right.
And I think John has his own shop. It's his own business.
Curl.
They love that drag racing and
Curl.
Yeah, actually, James, I think, could have had himself a whole team of drag racing guys. I know Dwight Alfrey also played with him. He raced cars, so.
Good shot, Vance.
Very fast team. Yeah, John Smith owns his own automotive repair, Smitty's Automotive.
You'll be up.
So a little tuck under there for New Brunswick. James trying to run this one back.
Yep.
Kelly Mothy looking for the double here. Like the jam over the high side. Rolls to a corner guard. Close to the center though. So Grant's going to take advantage of that rock.
So Dan, we were having a conversation yesterday, and it was about why we keep curling, why we keep doing it. You're a team. You won the World Seniors twice. You're still competitive. You haven't been back in a couple of years, but you're still doing it every year. What keeps you going in the game? I think you've been asked that a few times here.
Yeah, actually, after we'd won the Worlds, we had a little panel up there. So it was Wade, Barry, George, and myself, and Kevin Martin was the MC of the event, and he actually had the question. He goes, he'd already retired from the game and got into commentary, and it's like, how do you guys keep going? And it's like, well, I said, first of all, it's the love of the game, but I said, for us, we never made it to the Brier or won the championship until we actually got to seniors. So, it's coming out of a tough province, banging on the door all the time, coming third. Until you actually win and you're in your 50s already.
Right.
It's like starting. It's like winning is a new thing for you, and as a champion, right? So, looking at the resume of a lot of the teams here, and there's a lot of people that were finalists. They were, made it to the championship, but never actually won. And I think that's why a lot of them are still here.
Right.
Once you win once, you definitely know how it feels, and you want to try to do it again. And yeah, we've got some returning champions here, but we got a lot of first-timers, and the names, you maybe not recognize them because they haven't won a championship before, but they've been in a lot of these finals. Like, you look, most of these guys, some of them have been here 15 times, right? So still knocking on the door, trying to get that victory. So.
And you have to admit, when you come to an event like this, and you've been here a couple of times, it's the people. Like, they're all your friends. Like last night, talking to these people in the Everest Lounge and been to different events with them. Every team, we're connected, right? And that's the fun part.
Yeah.
Making the friendships. It doesn't matter if that's in the provincial, in your town, in your curling club, or at a national event.
And let's face it, everyone here is still got that competitive feel.
Competitive drive. So Grace McKinnis, she curls out of the Royal City Curling Club in New Westminster, and she was on Team BC, and she goes, my best curling moment is summed up with the blessing of the friendships made and the opportunities to experience awesome coaching in my years of curling. These opportunities and friendships have had a huge impact on and off the ice.
There you go.
Nicely put, Grace.
So Alberta with the hammer.
Roll behind, I like rolling
elected
over
not
here.
to
Okay.
hit the New Brunswick stone and tried to come around that corner.
Board.
A little bit light. Didn't get it buried. Going to give New Brunswick a chance to hit and stay and sit here for 2.
Yeah, board. Yep. 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 Hard. Hard.
So Mark looking for the hit and stay here.
Hard. Right over.
It's rolling under. It's goes under the red, but it's going to be a very short run back if James wants to pursue that. With the angle on that, he can hit and roll under his yellow, or he can just straight draw.
That's right. I like this call. You like this call?
He may want to use those 2 reds later to come around with the other turn and split the house up for himself. So, and they did just try this.
There's not too many rocks in play. I think we saw quite a few more rocks last night in their game against Manitoba.
Well, we've had some
Saskatchewan.
Some pretty well built up ends and a lot of rallies around the 4-foot.
We're okay.
So Mark was a little late with the first one.
No.
This one will have good line. It's just where does it stop? It's going to be shot, so they're going to carve this up as far as they can at the very end. Stays on the T line.
Right here, right?
So with the right angle, New Brunswick doesn't need to move this one. A nice freeze on it.
So do I. Yeah. Like.
I got half of it. What? I do have half of it, not quite half. You like freezing?
Yeah. I like that ice better.
Mike mentioned that, I can see some, I can remove that, but the team has agreed that, what, a freeze is pretty good here.
Yeah, it's not quite too.
I mean, if they hit that, there's a good chance they roll out.
Probably get shot.
And then that's just going to give James that chance again. So this doesn't have to be perfect. It can cut the scoring area down if he just gets us right in the 4-foot area.
Just an inch more?
No, I don't think so, Mike.
Okay.
No.
That doesn't look like a lot of ice from what we've seen.
No.
For rocks coming from the outside. Normally, inside this 4-foot line, they have been finishing up pretty good. Just wanting freeze weight on this. So Mike Kennedy's first rock in the 5th end here.
Right away.
Curl. Curl. Curl.
The ice does appear to be a little bit straighter today than what
Keep going.
it has been.
Keep going.
Yeah, and look at it. And they're carving this one in, even with that little bit of ice that they took.
Going.
Trying to get it over to it. Maybe a little bit heavy on that one. I think they were trying to hit and roll under at the very end on that and kind of left it in the middle of both shots.
Mike was in the hack asking, do I need more ice? No.
I think
and it didn't
actually
come
it was
up.
just a little heavy. I think his line would have been really good on that. So good opportunity here for James to hit and roll buried.
Well, there is one yellow rock out here we know that moves a little bit more than others, and we watched Terry Miller from the Yukon use it the other night to his advantage. Throwing last rock, he had the game, made so many doubles. Made some great shots.
Terry and his swan song for Yukon now moved into BC. So they've concluded their event. All the seeding games are concluded. If you do want to check out where everybody finished off, you can go to curling.ca/scoreboard and see all the standings results for all the teams.
Go. Hard.
So James Pahl looking to hit and roll under.
This is coming up.
This is looking good. He's got the roll. Well, he rolls way wide. Does it stick in there for second? It does.
It does, but I think they have an opportunity there to come right back.
There's a big hole to come through, a potential double, so they just lost that one at the end.
I actually think he's playing the little hit and roll on top of it.
Could do that, but I think there's enough room for him to curl up in there and actually make the double. Now, those ones that are really close together like that are really harder doubles to make in actual fact. When you got to almost hit them simultaneously.
Huh?
That looks good.
Dan, are we able to check the time over there and see how these guys are doing?
Both teams with close to 13 minutes, and we're into the into the second half of this game here, so
should be okay.
Looks like it won't become an issue.
Not going to come up that much.
Each team, I'm sure, will have one person that is always keeping an eye on it, if not all four.
Right.
But most of the time, it doesn't get in the way, unless you're having a lot of discussions.
Right.
And a lot of rocks in play typically. So
each team gets 30 minutes, and at the fourth end break, I know our team's always checked. Just make sure we have at least 15, and you can
at the halfway.
You can pick up the time, no problem.
Yep. It's Mike Kennedy here. They hit and roll on top, or a double if it comes up enough for him.
Curl!
So now they're wanting this thing to curl.
They're missing the roll.
I don't think they're missing the roll.
It's rolling right to
rolled a little too much. So once again, they got caught in the middle. So
they did.
Over-rolling and leaving Alberta with a wide open hit and stay for two. So kind of got caught in the middle. I was wondering if they were actually going to try that double. It would have had a lot of spin, or the hit and roll. So Alberta with a chance for their deuce here to take the lead back once again as we flip-flop one more time.
Our left is fine. This spot holds for so long.
So Johnny Schmidt here as the inside sweeper will be the one trying to hold it straight. If it gets tight to that guard, or if it looks like it's hanging out a little bit, you'll see Kelly Mothy. He'll be the one on this rock trying to get it to curl over more. So.
Yep. Whoa. Yep.
Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa.
Yep. Hard. Yep. Hard.
He's carving up now, so Johnny's leaning on this one. Yeah. Gets it by. Does he stick around? Is across the face. It hits. Rolls a little bit. Gets that perfect roll, but doesn't need it. But he does stay and gets his deuce. So 2 for Alberta in the fifth end. They now have a 5-4 lead. And we'll be back with New Brunswick having the hammer in the sixth end.
So much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
Everything I've worked for, everything I've sacrificed, has led to this. It's out of your hands now. All the gold medals in the world can't help you now. You could throw the perfect rock and still miss, but it just takes one. You leave it all out there on the ice to leave behind a legacy.
And welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. I'm just going to give you a few quick updates on our Sheet A, our ladies semifinal. We do have Alberta scoring 3 in the fifth end, so they now have a 5-1 lead over Nova Scotia ladies in a semifinal game. On Sheet B, Manitoba continues. Oh, nope, sorry. They just put up Saskatchewan deuce there. So we have a tie game, 4-4 between Manitoba and Saskatchewan in that one. And we also have a tie game in our other ladies semifinal with Ontario and Quebec being tied 4-4 and Ontario having the hammer in that one. In our feature matchup, Alberta did just score their deuce to take a 1-point lead. In our other men's semifinal, they were up 5-4. And right now we have a pretty clean end. One Alberta Stone at the very back, 12.
So Dan, what are you thinking? It's a sixth end of an 8-end game. What's the strategy here for both teams?
Well, if you played out, New Brunswick would have 2 hammers to 1. So wanting to score here, and if it's only one, obviously forcing one in the 7th end, and then try to bring that hammer home. That's their objective. For Alberta, not wanting to give up a multiple score here, it would be probably their first priority. But
do
if
they want to force them to one?
They can force or steal. So, I mean, you're always trying that, but I think there's going to be a little bit maybe more, I'll call it safe play by Alberta, not wanting to give up the big end as opposed to going harder for the steal maybe. So.
And you know, I like that position being one up without, it's okay, like every end, right? You've got control of the house. You don't have to take too many chances.
No. Oh, it's gonna be a lot, see? Oh, it's grabbing.
There it goes.
There it goes.
Yeah, it grabs the curl, slows down.
Maybe it's that special rock.
That's a good one. Okay.
Yep, so chokes off that corner guard.
It's getting fast.
It's getting fast, they're saying.
Want to tap it back 8? What? Want to tap it back 8? Just tap it here. Yeah. Not back 8. Just try to get it through. Okay.
He wants to get it out?
Yeah.
Okay, so good thing they clarified that before he threw the rock, because I think Vance was thinking they might want to just tap this back. But Grant, he's the conductor back there. He's he wanted to remove this yellow.
They're pounding this one.
Yeah, it'll come off the line.
That's that guard.
He's going to get by that guard. Get a good chunk of this yellow. I don't know if he has enough to move it out.
Just
need to help it. So perfect weight there by Vance Lecoq. And with that weight, he's able to stay under this guard and not roll open. So get a little, might get a little miss by racking the guard here. So James got to play a little quieter weight. And as we've seen, you got to have the right weight, or they'll carve off on you.
Go.
So Kelly Mothie.
Big hack. John.
Big hack, and they're getting Johnny to try to move this one over early.
Hard, John.
Way to go. There she goes.
Hard.
Keep going, mate.
Hard, John.
I like Mark. Words of enthusiasm behind. Go hard, John.
Kelly Moffey's got a pretty good handicap in golf. He's a 7 to 10 handicap. Have you had the opportunity to golf with him?
No, I haven't. And I know that Mark is also a golfer, and so is James.
Oh.
And I think they get out and they play with their sponsor, Global Mechanical, Jared, and he's here as well. So maybe the guys hit the range. I think, is it Mark? I think Lecoq owns or part owner of the bunkers. It's an indoor golf facility. They've got simulators, and I think a lot of people here have taken advantage of that while they've been down here. So I didn't know that till today, and I think I might even went out there and hit a ball, but next time. So New
Some
Brunswick,
of them are heading to the casino as well.
Might be third shot.
That's another location. Yeah. So New Brunswick there got it by the guard, but because they had to sweep to get it by the guard, it was tight.
So they had to pump her, I guess.
Carried it for some extra weight. Now hung on in the back, and you can see James looking at him to see if he needs to chase that.
Top 8.
So he's just looking for top 8 here. They do have shot in the back 8. So New Brunswick with the opportunity to bail out and score their point here, not their objective, looking for the multiple score.
I think I'm going to say 8 right now.
The hammer in 6.
Top 8. Top 4.
Easy.
Well, we're saying he is
line's good.
top ring, top 8, top 4.
Gonna go a little. Okay.
Trying to get some of this buried around that red.
got good line.
Really good line.
A really good line.
Yeah, now they can keep dragging it.
Go, 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 go.
That into the full 8 would be really nice.
That's good.
That's well in behind, so.
Okay, good call.
Back into this one.
Top 4 if you move it over.
So Grant's indicated he wants to run it back into the center one to roll off to open that one
That's
up.
fine too.
And he's okay with the straight back.
Control.
New Brunswick does have the hammer, so if he does take off the guard.
Yeah, he's got a bunch of rocks that he
Okay.
can actually raise this one into. He can raise it into all 3 of those yellows and try to stay, so.
Control. Whoa. Curl. Curl.
Curl.
Curl.
Now it's up to Grant.
Curl.
Try to hit this
Keep
one in
going,
the perfect
keep going,
spot
keep going.
to raise it into
Go
one of
off,
these
Mike.
yellows. So they rolled it off, but knocked it right through the hole. Unable to stay with that.
And that's that spot where you throw a little bit more weight and it just seems to track on you.
What do you like?
And that's what happened. They tried to carve it to get it to come up.
Okay.
So James is going to try to split the house here. He's not going to guard his shot rock.
Try to even them
Well,
up.
maybe if it doesn't guard that perfectly, it would give New Brunswick a chance to utilize that guard. So bringing this one into the house, trying to keep it pretty clean.
So right now he's looking at, we'll give you one.
Yeah, he's happy with the force of 1 here, taking the hammer and then having control of either trying to blanket or score a multiple point in 7. So good looking weight here by Mark.
Good, 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 good.
Guys are sweeping
Piece
it
of fluff
pretty
up
good.
there. I saw it, yeah. Good shot, Mark.
Thanks, buddy.
Yep, perfect depth. There's doesn't look like there's any chance for a double on those.
We didn't find out today. We didn't talk to the ice maker.
What
but
turn you
we'll do
like?
that after this game. He had
Okay.
changed the ice a little bit a few days ago when
Control.
we had a big snow blizzard here, wet snow. We went and asked him if that was going to affect the ice, and he said no. It's more if it rains, the humidity gets higher. But what he did do is he clipped the ice a little bit more, took off a little more pebble to try and get a little more curl. So in the last, I'd say yesterday, we did get a little more curl.
Yeah, and we
Helped a
weren't
bit.
sure, a morning draw, a little bit cooler and crisper in the building, how that would impact things. And I think maybe they went back and maybe they didn't have to nip so much. So far, the ice seems to be holding up quite nicely.
And it does seem to be nicer in the morning. But then
Yeah, they got that one over curling. He took off his kicker. He would have had to remove a bunch of other yellows
Spot there. Right there. I'll just speed left.
into skip rocks here.
House weight that was been up all game.
New Brunswick is going to be tough to try to get their deuce here because the rocks are pretty much in the house. If he uses that guard,
Anything on Kelly?
I don't think it's going
wide
to
open
out
and-
much. So, James just looking to hit this, and he's only got one way to roll because he doesn't want to risk jamming it anything on the back. So, he's going to group some together on the one side of the sheet. They'll all be there, but no guards for New Brunswick to come around.
Dan, I looked over at the Alberta and Nova Scotia game there, and it looks like Alberta got a big end, and they're up 5-1 in that game,
Whoa, whoa, clean.
playing the 6th end.
So, priority job 1, make the red go away. He had a good enough setup in there that I don't know that there's any
Think about here.
doubles for them to try to get back into a blank end here. So,
Is that too much? No, this side should be okay.
I like that.
He's going to
Curls
freeze
more
down to
way.
this rock at the back of the house here.
yeah, he's
He'll
trying.
probably play the run back, but
I think they feel this is their best chance to try to get a
Okay,
deuce.
guys.
Come
Hope that
around.
James can
Yeah,
jam
free.
this on the back. But I know from my
it's a
experience,
much harder shot for him.
if it's perfectly frozen on the back, that James can throw it hard enough.
Right.
And
Guys like coming around.
a quarter rock would probably get rid of both of them.
So his other option here is to come around
Go
that,
half a rock.
that rock that's in the house, at
Yes.
the top of the house there. And then James
All
would
right.
play a run back on that one.
So neither one of them an easy shot. I think there's a little bit more chance for error, like you can bury a half around this, and James won't be able to chip it out with that yellow there. It might jam, but that would leave the New Brunswick with a tough double and stay. I don't even think that's there. So A come around attempt here for Mike Kennedy.
Lights looks pretty good.
Trying to get into the back 8-foot here.
Got room.
And
You
stay
know
shot.
that once it hits the
Got
center
room.
line, it's going to go.
Yeah.
Got room.
Got room.
Good
Yep.
weight.
And it looks like
Real
the
good
weight's
weight.
there.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Looks like
whoa.
he's got plenty of weight. This will start to
there.
glide on him if it
Line's
gets
really
outside
good.
that 4-foot line.
Oh,
You can
it's
see
gotta
Mark
die.
getting ready.
Line's really good.
And ready to give it a
Finish
sweep.
Finish it.
And that's perfect
Yep.
weight by Mike Kennedy.
Good shot.
Nice job.
Right? But it is
Good
open.
shot.
It's only half open.
Right.
And like I said, if he does jam it into that yellow, I don't know that New Brunswick can make a double on those other 2 yellows and stay. So as long as James can make contact with this one.
I think James has
And
to
sit
throw
two.
pretty good weight at this.
The same weight I threw.
It'll move.
Yeah, we've seen him getting pretty close to some guards before. So this time it'll be up to Kelly Mothy to hold this straight and get it by that guard. See, even Mark is peeking over at the other game, seeing what's happening there. Lots of rocks in play.
I'm really bad for that one.
And he's
I'm
back.
throwing.
He's focused back on James's shot here. And not hearing anything, so it must be pretty close. Now they're trying to get Johnny Schmidt to carve this over a little bit.
It's a little more than house.
Yeah, and he makes contact and gets it out. It does jam and stay, but as
But
I
he is
mentioned-
sitting 2,
Yeah,
and the angles aren't really right, so Mike Kennedy will have to draw for 1.
draw for 1 to try to tie this match back up. And then we will have played 6 ends for the hammer.
Right.
So while Mike gets ready for that one, some more updates across the board. We've got last rock coming on our sheet A. Alberta leading Nova Scotia 5-1 in that one. And sheet B is still tied 4-4 between the Manitoba and Saskatchewan men. And sheet C, Ontario and Quebec is still tied up 4 apiece as well. Both those games on sheet B and C are being live streamed at TSN Plus or youtube.com/Curling Canada.
And they have a lot of rocks in play on both those sheets right now. Be interesting to see what happens.
Yep, so Mike Kennedy's last rock here in the 6th end.
It's all
Looking
you guys.
for full 8-foot.
D-line.
Doesn't have any backing on this one.
Stay with
They're
it.
not touching it.
I think so.
Pretty good,
It's
though.
coming down in the middle.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
I think so.
It's fine.
Mike's telling me he thinks he needs it.
Good.
Sweepers are right on it. They know where it is. All they needed was a full 4. Gets a piece of the 4-foot.
Nice draw.
Scores is 1 point. Yep, nice draw there by Mike Kennedy. So our game is all tied up after 6. We've got 2 ends of action left. And we'll be back with Alberta having the hammer in the 7th right after this.
From cash spiels to grand slams, club competitions to world championships, there's a lot to keep up with on the pebbled ice. Stay up to date with the Hardline Curling Show, your weekly source for everything curling, with the latest event results, breaking news, interviews with players, executives, and insiders, plus behind-the-scenes access you won't get anywhere else. Follow us on Facebook, X, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube. Make sure you don't miss a thing.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
And welcome back to the Everest Senior Curling Championships in Moncton, New Brunswick. Dan Hollowaychuk here, and I'm joined with Penny Shantz. And I was just looking across the board here, and both of our men's semifinals are tied late in the game. So whatever team moves on, we should have a great final for you. Right after this game, At 12:30 Atlantic time, we'll have the men's
Good
gold
line.
medal match.
Where's your weight?
And then at 3:30, we'll have the women's gold and bronze medal match.
It's the Atlantic time.
Atlantic time, yep. So some of you may be waking up on the West Coast. And if you want, you can find all the curling action results at curling.ca/scoreboard. And you can go into the archives there in youtube.com/curling Canada, and you can get all of the games that have gone on here.
That's right.
And if you wanted to find a favorite shot of one of your favorite teams, you can look that up.
Or if you haven't had enough of us this week, you can go back and listen to us again.
Again and again and again. So back to our feature matchup here. Alberta, New Brunswick. Alberta wrestling the hammer away. It took 6 ends to do it, so they now have the hammer in this game tied up. 2 ends to go. We have a couple of center guards, one of them being in the house of Alberta, so they now lie 2 with the hammer. New Brunswick happy to have a couple right down that center line. So Grant Odishaw, who throws lead, calling the game here, is looking for the hit and roll under.
So Grant started curling when he was 12, I think it was, so that'll give his age away. But the reason he started curling is because Moncton hosted the 1980 Silver Broom here, the World Championships.
That got him going.
And Rick Folk was here. So Rick Folk is the reason that Grant Odishaw got into curling. Rick Folk's team, I think they were from Saskatchewan at the time, and they won the Silver Broom here.
That's one thing I haven't done is to go into YouTube and see how many of the old classic games they were. That Rick Folk team, I can remember. I think it was the Wilson brothers, corn broom sweepers, probably a pair of the finest corn broom sweepers out there. And I kind of miss that sound out there on the ice.
It's kind of a pretty sound.
I try to make that sound with my push broom.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think it's very effective, but it's pretty close for the sound.
Oh, I see. You use it as a corn broom.
Exactly, yeah. So.
Just down, isn't it?
Well, I have a friend back in on the Vancouver Island, Rick Dunn, and he likes to watch those games, and he's been at our place a few times, and he.
Roll, James?
Oh, okay. Anyways, he watches those old games, and he's been to our place a few times on fishing trips, and he'll get in front of the TV and he'll start pulling up all those classic games, and we have a lot of fun watching them.
That would be something to do, just pick a night and just find some old ones.
So I've just been handed a note here from Les Harrison, and that 1980 Silver Broom broke the Labonte curse.
So another one
one
that you can go and look up and see where somebody jumps up in the air, and
hit
comes
the
down
rock before
and move the rock that they couldn't measure yet, so they had to replace it.
It was the U.S., right? And then the guy said, "You will never win another championship."
And it took a while.
Yeah,
it took a while.
So Rick Folk broke that curse. You could probably get that on YouTube too.
I bet you can.
Throw board.
So Alberta looking okay here. They've got the one in the rings and throwing to sit 2, but New Brunswick does have a couple of long centerline guards that I think at some point in time here, without giving the game away in this end, they may try to get it right around that and either steal one here or really put the force on. This one's coming up with a roll under. It rolls open on the other side. Just
try the other side now.
Just edge on edge, but it's very tight, that top one. So Grant's got to be a little careful here not to tick that top one, because he would leave it on the rings and roll out, and then that would really give Alberta a chance to put another one in and sit 3. So delicate shot here for Mark McCock.
Board.
Yep.
And they're sweeping this one pretty hard, trying to make sure they don't tick that high one.
Curl.
And it's coming up nicely at the end. Good weight on this one. So, able to control the line on it really good. Hold it out for the longest time. Know that it'll come up at the end. And keep it tight to the edge on edge. So
You know, Dan, we talk a lot of strategy here, and one of my favorite books is Mickey Pendergast, another fellow Albertan from Calgary. Him and a guy by the name of Doug Wilson wrote a book called What's Your Call? And I love that book. I gave it to all my teams last year for a Christmas present. So it's got basic strategies in there and scenarios. He does it on Facebook as well. And you kind of give your call. They give a what would the pros do and what would the club curler do, and it's just an excellent book.
Interesting.
Yeah. So if you're looking for a Christmas present out there,
there you go.
What's your call?
Yeah.
You can get it on Amazon too, I think.
Or put a new curling broom head in the stocking stuffer. It always fits in there good. And they're making them easier to get in there now. They're all these little sock heads as opposed to the firmer heads, so you can pile them in there.
So now you know what you're getting for Christmas.
One more.
Firm board.
So we're into the third rocks here now. Mark Lecoq looking for, I think, just a nose hit here. Something that they can pull later. He might actually get a skinny tick on that high one and then push it in the open. And he does a little, but not much. Touches it.
Good shot.
But both those rocks, are able to be promoted.
Got to get a roll to get on the rings. Same weight.
So does James Pahl Alberta team, do they want 2 here? Or do they want to try and blank this?
I think they'll continue to try to play this, to get their deuces as long as they can.
Same weight.
But also not wanting to get forced or give up the steal. So you heard James Pahl indicate that if he hits this, they're not on the ring. So they're trying to roll this one wide over to sit to. But this will also open up the center line for the come around for New Brunswick to maybe pressure him at the end. So they did make it. So New Brunswick's going to chase this one. Now they got to make a long roll to get back underneath. But with this one going wide to the right and then all the way wide back to the middle, this is going to be having a chance to maybe roll into the 4-foot area buried. So chance for New Brunswick to kind of, I guess, kill 2 birds with 1 stone here. Get rid of the second Alberta stone and make the roll underneath. And
You're going to throw normal? Yeah, it's going to be easier to get to center. Okay.
So we did play a lot of this out here in the first den.
Just a shade more.
Teams finding this a very straight spot out here.
Right.
Not a lot of ice taken by Mike Kennedy. Trying to hit and a long roll. On it early, right out of the hand. You can see just scrubbing this one, trying to hold it out there. It's really close.
Curl, little bit.
Looking for a curl. I think he's got lots of curl on this one.
All the way. All the way.
Oh, he just didn't quite
Good
get the roll.
Well, he got about 4 feet roll, but he needed 5.
Right.
So I don't know if James wants to completely roll under here or even half roll under. He may want to just stay edge on edge and make a tough shot for Mike, but not allowing him to roll under.
So Mike,
James can come down there, hit and roll a little bit here, or even hit and roll all the way on this side, but still stay in behind this rock a little bit, which would force either New Brunswick to hit and roll outward on that one or this one. So I'm thinking he was looking for probably a control weight, really trying to, work the
a house hit.
House hit, control hit, or a 10.
Close. Stay close, John.
Kelly, close.
It's pretty good.
Yep.
Yeah, Kelly.
Gotta get over a bit. Come on.
Just a bit.
Yeah. Trying to work it so he can just stay on edge. It's going to be really close. Left a little bit of room.
Give him the opportunity that he can go under.
That's what everybody's calling here.
Okay.
A little forgetful. Yeah.
Mike and Grant mentioned last night that they play on this ice all the time. This is their home club, and it's always kind of been that way on the outsides.
Right. So some tendency, but I know with a different ice maker coming in here, and how they have it set up,
and different rocks.
It
the
will
Curl
change.
Canada rocks.
Just a shade more.
These will be the rocks that they're using at the Olympic trials too, I believe.
I think they had two sets of them here in when we did use the other ice shed.
Right.
Yeah! Whoa! Whoa!
So key shot here for Mike Kennedy, getting late in the game here, looking for a little hit and roll under.
Might have got a little excited on that screen there.
Yeah, they jumped it a little bit early, now trying to get that little bit of finish at the end and not leave James a wide open hit for 2. And yeah, they just touched it a bit early, maybe got it to go back, and that rock just doesn't want to come up.
Stayed there. That gives James his opportunity for 2 to go 2 up coming home. Doing some extra house cleaning there. Making sure there's nothing out there to pick.
Yeah, and they, the teams are pretty safe on time here. 6 or 7 minutes left for each team, so plenty of time. So another control, easy weight hit here. Stay for your deuce.
Big shot for James Pahl to take control of this game. 7th end.
Yep. Gotta go.
Oh, he's kind of going a little light here, but I think they'll be able to hold it, no problem. Great shot, James.
Yep. Never in doubt. He had some rock to roll to if he needed, but he didn't even need to use that. So Alberta with the hit and stick there gets their deuce in the 7th end. Now have a 7-5 lead. New Brunswick. New Brunswick will be having the hammer in the 8th end when we come back.
So much to our family. Obviously, it's a big part of our life. Isabella always says that she wants to be an Olympic champion curler when she grows up, which just melts my heart. But it also has shown them that if you work hard, anything is possible. If I was to ask them if they wanted to chase a dream, they believe that anything is possible as long as they put the work in, and it's because of watching us on the ice.
Everest is here to support you in the moments that matter. Learn how at everestfuneral.ca.
It takes passion and a whole lot of dedication to meet Cavendish Farms' high standards. To become an epic late-night snack. Part of the ultimate breakfast. And the dinner crew crowd pleaser. From Canada's favorite French fries to onion rings, hash browns, and potato tots, Canadians can count on Cavendish Farms to serve top quality every time. Cavendish Farms. Made our way, enjoy your way.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Everest Senior Curling Championships here in Moncton, New Brunswick. We have a good game going on here. A lot of back and forth action between New Brunswick and Alberta men's. Alberta leading 7-5. New Brunswick having the hammer, needing a deuce here to extend this game. We do have all of our other semifinals going on. And if you want to keep up to date on those, go to curling.ca/scoreboard. This game is a little bit ahead of pace of all the other ones, so I'm not sure we can give you all the updates before we get off the air here. So you can find that on that website, or you can stream a couple of the other games on B and C as well on TSN Plus, or go to youtube.com/Curling Canada. And Penny, you know, looking at the Everest logo out here on the ice and on the button, you'll see a lot of Everest on all the sponsors' jackets out here. We see a lot of Everest, and I think Everest has done a lot for our game.
They have done, and Mark Duffy flew in on Thursday. We had an opportunity to have dinner with him, and they've been doing this for this is their 10th championship.
Of the seniors.
Of the seniors, and they also do the club championships. They have a North American challenge where they take the U.S. club champion, and they play against the U.S. or the Canadian club champion, and that was a big event down in Denver, Colorado. Can't say enough about their sponsorship and what Randy, Furby, and Mark Duffy have done for this sport.
Yeah, and I think the exposure into the U.S. here, I did hear some comments about what happened. They got CBS, which is a major sports network in the U.S., to cover that. I think they were all ecstatic about how it was received down there. It was like 5 times better than I think they could have expected. So I look forward to seeing a lot more of that. And you know, in Everest, like I said, they've been on the senior men's for 10 years. I've been fortunate enough to come to a lot of these events, and I know for all the players and everyone involved, you know, they look forward to it, and you know, good on them. And yeah, just once again, thank you guys very much.
The seniors know how to look after their sponsors too. I know my team is sponsored by Arnold Asham and Asham Curling Supplies, and Arnold came to us and said that he doesn't mind sponsoring. I was going to put his name on my jacket anyways, but we all wore his shoes and had his, you know, a lot of his stuff. So.
And a lot of these teams, you know, like throughout the course of the year, the sponsors that they all have, you know, without them, you know, I don't think you see some of these teams here even trying to get here.
Well, we talked about the broom heads. Like these guys are changing their broom head every game. You don't have to do that when you're a club curler, but these guys with competition heads, they switch out their heads, and that costs a lot of money.
Yeah.
So they get the different suppliers, Gold Line, Hard Line, Asham. These guys, they give them a discount or sponsor them for their broom heads.
Yeah, so big shout out to all the sponsors, especially the Everest group. And, you know, as curlers, yeah, we definitely like to reciprocate it and appreciate it.
Yeah, all right. Do that.
So what do we got going here, Dan?
So, well, this is, you know, Manitoba's got their 2 corner guards. Alberta doesn't have everything all lined up around the center line here, and New Brunswick did put one right in the middle of those 2, and you can't get that red one out of here just yet.
That is a good shot.
You know, not wanting to put anything under those red corner guards for them. So James is just going to negotiate these rocks around, try to get some angles so that he can eliminate them, and hopefully keep the play in the open center ice area. So a little tap coming here.
Kind of wants to unlock that red one, I think.
Yeah,
doesn't he, or get it so he can hit it
for the weight. He's like, he's actually just gets that by the guard. Chips his yellow in behind for shot rock right on the 4-foot buried behind all those other ones, but they are very close. Puts the yellow rock behind that corner that I think Grant's going to try to use as maybe a catcher. So he's going to disregard everything down the center line and try to really work on this one for you know, a solid one later in the end.
I think I like this call. And you like the call?
Gotta go wait.
Yes, but it's got to be in a high enough spot. You can see that red rock on the center line will be coming off that yellow and in this direction. So it's got to be careful.
Be on that guard, I think.
Not to set something up.
Yeah.
Okay, so
he might be putting a little guard on there.
So now just trying to leave that one in a spot
to get
that
something
you can use. So there is a red lineup for a double takeout on those yellows.
They're saying it picked.
Yeah.
Or did something.
It ended up being in a pretty good spot for him, because if red comes down and hits this on there, this one can come underneath there and get rid of these 2 yellows. So James got to be a little bit careful here. If he does throw the guard, knowing that one shot could get rid of his 2 yellows and leave a couple reds on the house here. So
I'm thinking James sees that too.
Normal.
He's just going to get rid of a corner guard here.
Yeah. And
open it up.
Kelly.
I think, yeah, James would like to move the play into the house here. There is still another corner guard, but Grant would have to start changing his turn.
You like hitting it, yeah? Okay.
I like the split.
No, it's the top one, yeah.
You want to take a timeout?
All games are coming home now.
Yeah.
I kind of like what Grant was indicating there, just trying to come around and tap his own over here and split this. Does have the option, if it does get a little bit tight, to put this one on and split as well and open those up. So they're
this one rolls over here.
they need to hang some rocks around in the in-house here. So throwing more weight, and you've got a better chance of losing something
hit
here.
And flop. Even what if you did it off this one?
Don't have to throw big
And
weight
I think
at
that's
this
what
point.
Grant just indicated. He originally called the other one. He says,
I don't either,
or
but
that
we're
one.
trying
So,
to score 3 here, right?
2. It's more about 2.
and that's the other thing.
Are
Trying
they
to
in a
score.
timeout here, Dan, or are they just?
Yeah, they've called no timeout. Still with a fair bit of time on the clock. 5.5 minutes almost. So
Scott James is out here as well, giving some input.
And this
James,
one, if we open
looking
that
at it from
up,
a different
we got
angle
this
on the other
double
sheet.
here, doubles there.
yes, they did bring their extra guy out.
I'm thinking this one, eh?
I don't
No,
like
Mike.
Yeah, that one? Okay.
No, I like splitting that top one in.
Okay.
So Scott Jones back there,
Yeah.
giving him some advice from what he's been watching from behind the glass for most of the game. So I didn't see what they finally agreed upon. So when Grant puts the broom down, we'll see if he was able to convince him to play his shot.
Not much ice there. I'm not. I guess he's playing on the red one.
Which red one?
The top one, yeah.
The top one.
Yeah, I was going to say take less, yeah.
Okay, they're even tightening it up even more here. So he's going to, need some weight to split these around too. This isn't just a draw weight. He can split them wide.
Back line.
Little light.
Back line. Back line's a good weight to have for this.
I said it's a little light, but
yeah.
Whoa.
So
yeah.
Hey, split. This is going to start to come up on him here.
Whoa.
Got to hit about a good third of that rock. This looks really good. So perfect execution on that one. They do have 3 in the rings now.
That's great. Nice shot.
But I think it's 3 Alberta as well.
Yeah, it's 3 Alberta shot right now. But we did see that game last night where, they came back and got a big 4-ender and
it can happen.
Took
so
Quebec out.
So there is a double here for James. That red rock will come through the hole here and come off of here and into that. He's got to be a little careful not to kiss it off of this one and jam it into his zone. So he's eyeing that up. It's a big shot here for Mark Klink. Trying to
get a
eliminate
double
couple
here,
reds.
would you say? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what James called. Be close to skimming by that top yellow of his. So he may play this a little on the safer side. This is really close. There's a great shot. He's got enough to get it out. Oh, they were trying to get it just a little bit skinnier. So now that provides a little bit of cover for that red one. And
now it's getting interesting.
Now we have opportunity for New Brunswick. So Mike Kennedy wants to come down here and have a closer look at everything.
You got to get this roll, Mike.
Yeah, that's
so. If you get this roll, it's going underneath.
Mike wanted to make sure that there wasn't a jam coming off of this.
Ooh, it's control enough.
This is Third's last shot.
What? Control. Get this roll. You got to hit this pretty thin.
Just roll it, Mark.
Lots of time. Each team has about 5 minutes.
Yeah,
close
like
to 5 minutes.
Like I said, we are half an end ahead of the other sheets there. To give you guys some more updates before we get off the air here. So a hit and roll. This is a priority call here. Got to stay around.
Yep.
So
Yep.
It's looking pretty close.
Whoa.
Curled up a bit. So he just stays with the double. At the end, he was trying to just stay on the top of it. James has a hit and roll under or a double.
And he wants, I think he might just want the hit and roll there and be lying 3 again. There's a lot of red rocks creeping into the, sprinkled on the edges.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the ones that you have to worry about.
Just need 2 good ones here.
So wanting to remove this red and roll to the outside a little bit.
A little on Kelly's side, roll behind the corner.
In case we don't get back there, Ontario is up 6-4 in their game against Quebec, and they're drawing another rock in the house here. They have one on the button, one above it, and putting a third one in there. So Quebec's in a little bit deep. Only a few more rocks to come.
James Pahl with his first rock in the 8th end. Looking to hit and stay. Sweepers are on this pretty hard early. Just getting close to the 4-foot line here.
Roll it, Kelly. Roll it.
Gets it by his yellow and gets the outside roll that he was looking for, and is sitting 3.
And I'm going to go back. I'm going to go to sheet A over there, Nova Scotia and Alberta ladies. The Alberta ladies did take another one in the 7th end, so they're up 6-3. And they've got 3 in the house right now. So.
Yeah, and in our other men's matchup, we did have Manitoba getting a deuce in the 7th end. So they take a 6-5 lead over Saskatchewan. Saskatchewan having the hammer coming home.
They do have a lot of rocks in play on that sheet again, so. Saskatchewan, I see 4 rocks in there.
Yeah. Gotta be firm, I think, to make it.
And as I mentioned before, the men's gold and bronze and silver medal games will be coming up right after this, 12:30 Atlantic time. The gold-silver game will obviously be our feature, and we will be streaming the bronze medal game at the same time.
Yep. Whoa.
Mike Kennedy with his
First, we might have a double here.
Going for a very flat double, and he's got it and holds the rings. Doesn't stay in shot, but he does outcount the yellow biter. So
now yellow is sitting 1, and New Brunswick has 3 rocks.
Hey, nice shot there, and
Very
Alberta
nice.
calls their timeout. So I think Mike was really wanting to stay and make them have to make a play on that one. It did spin out of the way, giving James a chance to either split the house. Can't really hit and stay on anything that he can see.
Can he get a double on those 2 rocks on the right-hand side, roll all the way across on top of the red rock on the 12-foot on the other side? That's my call.
That would be almost a triple.
Yeah.
I think he's maybe given. He plays the draw here.
Yeah.
Does
think
leave
he's
a
gonna
bunch
play
of
the
red.
draw?
It's just as easy as
He's tapping the
any
draw.
other shot. I agree. A little bit of tolerance. True.
Okay, he's going to draw.
Bite the 8-foot
Well,
somewhere.
only because that yellow rock is jamming onto that red one if they're trying to make the double on it. So depending on where he puts it, there might not even be a double. But I got a feeling that New Brunswick's going to have to give it the old college try regardless.
Right, and yeah, see how the stars are aligned now.
Yeah.
For James
So
Pahl.
if James can put this in a spot where that yellow perfectly jams to make that double, then he can throw a winning shot here.
Yeah. Top 8.
Top 8.
So looking for top 8. Alberta with their last stone here, trying to split the house. A 2-point lead. James Pahl.
Looks good.
Oh, first indication was
Yeah, a little for line if you can.
good.
And this will move here.
All right.
Yeah,
Wait on it.
Mark getting on a little bit early for the line, just to make sure it gets by. They don't need to get tight to this guard.
Clean it.
Yeah, keep it clean.
Got to stop. Right?
Yeah.
Whoa, okay, that's good.
Yep, they picked their spot.
Stop.
And it looks like he's got it right where he wanted it.
Hard.
So,
Okay.
It's not bad.
That's pretty good.
yeah. And you can see Grant lining it up to see if it's still there.
He thinks it's there, but
Right.
I don't
Yep.
know if that's gonna.
Pretty
Looks to me
thin.
like it's gonna
Well, he's
jam
sticking
there.
with 3.
Which way is it
that
there?
doesn't matter.
Yeah.
A little
Just
thin.
lower
Jamming
Okay.
on that red one.
Oh, so he's
There,
like,
right?
they're going to try to come down and click off this one and into this. And I'm thinking he says it doesn't matter if he hits this as long as it spins and rolls out of here.
Because he'll be having the other ones.
Count this is 1, 2, the one that hits here for 3.
You gotta hit it right about there.
That's true.
Just clip there to hit the back. Probably here, right?
So he's got to make the double first, and then.
Weight. Probably a little.
Do you think James
maybe?
Rock came just a little bit too deep there, or?
Maybe down weight.
Well, as I mentioned, you got to put it where you're not in a spot to jam that and make the double. So
want to make sure this
they were trying to pick that spot that they thought was
normal.
Was
normal up. Yeah. Yeah, normal up. Yeah, you just gotta clip it. Probably something like here. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, Mike.
You're gonna hit that, but hopefully stick it for 3.
You know, and they did just throw this kind of over on this side with some weight, so I expect Mike to be pretty close on this one.
Right?
An exciting finish coming up here.
It's about a quarter.
Maybe even just 2 and we go another one.
Right.
That can happen. So playing the double takeout and trying to stay for 3.
Shade more.
Last shot for New Brunswick to win the game. And Alberta has won the game, so they're going to the final in the ladies, for sure.
Last rock, Mike Kennedy.
Curl!
This needs to curl. He's throwing it pretty firm.
Oh, I don't think it's going
He's going to get that kind of
Curl!
maybe a fine rub, but not enough. Good attempt there by Mike Kennedy, but I don't think it worked out the way they planned, and we're never going to find out if he was able to stay for 3. So we have Alberta stealing a point here in the 8th end, and
we have
winning
2 Alberta teams in the final.
So both Alberta men and women moving on to their gold medal matches. And
the other 2 games are still playing. There's rocks in play, so we don't know.
They're getting close to the end. And yeah, if you want to check out the finals of those ones to see who's going to be playing later on, you can go to curling.ca/scoreboard. Thanks for joining us on our morning match. We had a good one.
And we'll see you at 12:30.
We'll be back after a big break.
Thanks, guys.
All right, thank you.